The Turn Racing R320 steering wheel, made for Simracing, 320mm wide, a very slight disc shape, that's 10mm, 70mm bolt pattern of course. The grips are made from polyurethane with a shore rating of 50A. Close up we can see the grip texture and also the shape of the grips, which are designed to be ergonomic. Including this flattened section here for your thumb to rest in. Feels stiff. Take note of the narrow and straight spoke design and also the thumb area that only sticks out as far as it needs to. And this is because Turn Racing wanted to create a rim which was as universal as possible and would fit as many button plates as possible. Now to prove that, I'm going to show you that right now. I have a nice selection of wheel plates here and I will attach this to all of them so you can just see it lined up. But before we do that, I want to bring in another wheel just to give you an example to illustrate why this spoke design works so well. This is an OMP Trecento 300mm, really nice rim. I've had this for many years, but it's really difficult to find any compatible wheel plates. In fact, I only have one wheel plate that this works with and it's not on this table. So let me just show you how this lines up to all of these and how this essentially fails due to the spoke design. And these pieces here are far too thick to work with any of these button plates. So let's try this one and pop it on there, and you can just see a collision straight away with those buttons, and also the thickness of the padding is not compatible with this plate. Fanatec CSL universal hub, something that should work with pretty much anything, but in this case still having difficulty here. If I line it up, we're having a collision with those two switches just there. Now I can open it up, but then these paddle shifters will not be well aligned with the edge of the rim, so that will be a problem to try and use this on this button plate as well. Up here we have a Asher button plate, an old one, so out of production, and if I try this, instantly you can see colliding with all those knitter switches, so no good. And finally, my newest button plate here, this is the Simpson GT2, and if we place this in there, and it almost gets there, but you can see those two switches are colliding with the top of those spokes. Okay, well this is an extreme example, but I just wanted to show you this just so you have that in your mind, that when you are trying to match a wheel rim to a button plate, you do need to pick carefully. Now, let's try the same test with the Turn Racing rim. So start at the beginning, and that fits perfectly. You just pop in a couple of screws. And that does seem to fit very nicely. Fanatec CSL universal hub, perfect fit. See, nice distance to the paddle shifters, very comfortable, lots of clearance. the Asher button plate, a very handsome combination, lots of clearance, and getting to those paddle shifters, no problem whatsoever. Very comfortable to reach to those. I will say though, a bit of a stretch to get to the buttons, but otherwise fits well and I would say looks very nice. And finally, the Turn Racing R320 on the Simpson GT2 button plate. Paddle shifters are a little bit far away, but they can be adjusted and pulled out, so I do need to do that. Elsewhere, perfect. Plenty of room between the button plate and the rim, so if you grab the wheel when you're turning it, you've got space there. And also note that we do have some stickers here and the wheel itself is not covering any of those, so looking really tidy. Out of all of these, which was your favourite combination? Let me know in the comments. I've chosen the Simpson GT2 wheel plate combination for today. Turn Racing also sell a 305mm diameter version of this wheel that's unsurprisingly named the R305. It's also 60 grams lighter than the R320. So why did I pick the R320 over the R305? Simple answer, this is a second-hand eBay pickup that cost me less than half price than new. So it was a bargain, I really couldn't resist. Otherwise I would speculate the R305 would more likely be my first choice between the two models if I was to buy new. But I will say, I'm not disappointed. The shape of the grips makes this the most comfortable steering wheel I own, a perfect natural fit for my fingers and thumb to caress. Wearing gloves or bare hands, the light texture provides a grippy but not harsh feeling surface. This combined with the slight cushion of the 50A Shore polyurethane material helps reduce hand fatigue. I do appreciate this attention to detail. Turn Racing have clearly considered these factors while also ensuring it's the right durable material for the job. The aluminium frame is remarkably stiff considering the narrow profile of the spokes. This is because the thickness of the metal is 5mm. Cheap generic steering wheels you can pick up from eBay and AliExpress use 4mm thick aluminium. That may not seem much, but that is a 22% difference, and that does make a difference. If you've ever handled premium steering wheels and the cheap ones, you know what I'm talking about when it comes to wheel flex. Now for sim racing, not really a major issue. Cheap steering wheels can do the job well enough, but you can tell a difference between them, not only the stiffness of the frame, but also the quality of the material covering the wheel. The Turn Racing R320 definitely sits in the premium category. When selecting a steering wheel, you should also indeed pick one that suits the car it's designed for. The R320 is ideal for GT and LMP racing. The open top design makes it lighter than most 320mm diameter wheels. It's less mass for the driver and the wheelbase motor to manage, making it an agile handling wheel. I also like there's less steering wheel in the way of the monitor in front of me and a clear view of the on-screen dashboard. There's a lot to like here. This comes across as a steering wheel created by a sim racer for the needs of sim racers. First and foremost, Turn Racing have taken care of the common issue I've encountered many times of matching the steering wheel with a suitable button plate. No problem here, I've already demonstrated that. And the other aspects of its design cover comfort and ergonomics. It's a perfect balance all around. If you like what you've seen and heard, then the choice you need to make is which one, 305mm or 320mm. Experienced sim racers who own more than a couple of wheels will already know which model is right for them. Anybody else that's unsure, I would suggest the R305 is probably the the best option. The smaller size is closer to the generally regarded most versatile wheel size diameter, that's of 300mm. The R305 would also cover Formula Racing along with the aforementioned GT and LMP, where 320mm is just a bit too large for Formula cars, where a smaller diameter, quicker to rotate wheel has the advantage. And that's my review for the Turn Racing R320. Thanks very much for watching, hit the like to support my channel and subscribe for more. And until next time, happy simming and bye bye.